Hi, my name is Joseph Parker, WBO champion of the world, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
All right, hope you're all doing fantastic. Now, I just watched the press conference for Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. No, I'm not someone who's actively promoting this fight or anything like that. It's not one that I'm really excited for and whatever else. No, of course not. But it does have somewhat intrigue to it. Now, this press conference, it had Jake Paul and Frank Warren. They were on the screen. I have no idea why Frank Warren wasn't there. I presume he's doing something else. Jake Paul is obviously out of the country, sat somewhere hot, wearing a hat with a pool behind him. Now, I did hear that it's not in America. I forgot where they said that it was. But either way, the Wi-Fi signal was quite clearly very, very bad. But inside the studio, Tommy, he sat next to his father, John Fury, and his brother, Tyson. Now, I do think that Tyson maybe shouldn't have really been there, but this fight does need a bit of promotion from the UK perspective. It does. Tommy's not exactly the most extroverted person in the world. It's not a dig. That just seemed to be his character. Tyson knows how to sell a fight, but Tyson was ill. You could see that he was ill. He was coughing and spluttering all over the place. Now, it's not going to be C19 because obviously he would have been tested prior to him going onto the stage because obviously they wouldn't have allowed him in there. So it's got to be the general flu or cold. So full recovery to him. Now, John Fury, I think he forgot that this was about Tommy versus Jake Paul. I think he forgot because this press conference turned into Jake Paul versus John Fury. That's what it turned into. John Fury wasn't really giving Tommy even a chance to speak. He wasn't really giving anybody that much of a chance to speak because he was biting. And the reason that he was biting is because Jake Paul was doing to him that other people don't do. Because usually when people are around John Fury, like Steve Bunce, they're out there trying to tickle his nuts, okay? Trying to get everything. Oh, I love you, John. Jake and just wasn't like that. He was, he told John to suck on his piece. He told John that you're living vicariously through your sons and all this kind of stuff. But basically, he's saying things to John that I know a lot of people have been saying, but wouldn't say it to him. Jake was saying it to him. Even Tyson was laughing as well. But Tyson knew what it was that Jake Paul was doing. He's hyping the fight. That's what he's doing. Tommy ain't biting. Tommy doesn't really have that kind of character. He doesn't. Tommy seems to have that very serious kind of character. I'm not saying he's not that he's not fun. I'm sure he is off camera. I'm sure that it can be a bit of a laugh. But Tyson is a showman, so he understood. Jake Paul is a showman. John Fury is always going to say whatever it is that he thinks and feels at that particular moment in time. Maybe tomorrow he'll feel something totally different. We don't know. But Tyson understood what it was that Jake Paul was doing. He was goading at him. He was goading at John because John was biting. John was giving entertainment. Tommy wasn't. He wasn't. So John was doing his job without realising he's doing his job. Again, Tyson fully understood that, which is why he was laughing. But I thought that Jake Paul done very well. Now, this fight is again, let's be honest, this is a 4-0 versus a 7-0. That's what it is, and it's going to be on pay-per-view. Like anything with pay-per-view, either you'll buy it or you won't, or you'll find other means to watch it, or you'll watch it the next day, however, okay, or not at all. But this is a 4-0 versus 7-0, and it is also going to be billed as a YouTuber versus a boxer. No, this is not YouTuber versus boxer. I know Tommy said that he's been doing this all of his life. I doubt it. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think he's probably been training for probably most of his life because he's physically he looks very good, doesn't he? But boxing, no, I don't think so. Tyson was doing it all his life. I know John Fury talks about the Fury DNA. I'm presuming that he's talking about himself here, where because obviously Tyson has been brought up and become a world heavyweight champion and all that kind of good stuff. But Tommy is of different stock. He is. Now, for me, I've said it before, but there's probably a very real chance that the DNA that Tyson has is from his mother, not from John. Because, I mean, again, as Jake Paul was saying, you haven't achieved anything, i.e. your boxing career weren't that good anyway. Which is true, and I think that John is the first person to admit that. But either way, you know what, we're kind of going off topic here. It's about Jake versus Tommy Fury. I don't like the whole handbags at dawn kind of stuff of if if you beat me, I'll give you extra money. If you lose, you've got to change your name to, was it Tommy Fumbles or Fimbles, whatever it may be. That's just schoolboy stuff. Okay, I don't like that kind of thing. And of course, when Jake Paul was trying to get Tommy to agree to it live on air, you could see that John was trying to interrupt and change the subject. Tyson was trying to change the subject and all that kind of thing as well, because they knew that they recognized where Jake Paul was going with it. For me, I don't really like that kind of thing, but Jake is very, very good at what he does. He's very good at what he does. He's bringing a huge audience to boxing. I know some people don't want to hear that, but I can't say that, I necessarily want to say that, but it's the truth. He is. He is somewhat, I don't want to say the face of boxing, but he's certainly one of them. I mean, who does more pay-per-views than him? Who puts more people in arenas than him? Has Tommy Fury, does he sell out arenas? No, he doesn't. He really, really doesn't. He can't sell a ticket in a phone booth. That's the truth of it. But again, Tyson, he couldn't back in the day either. Even for the Klitschko rematch, nobody was buying the tickets for the Manchester Arena. But Jake Paul, doesn't matter who he fights, he can fight the basketball player, a former MMA player, he can fight a golf player, he can fight somebody who plays Pac-Man all day. It doesn't matter. Jake Paul will put bums on seats. He's very, very good at it. So yeah, he's quite clearly the A-side in this fight, but he wants Tommy to hype it. Tommy ain't going to hype it. Tommy's not that kind of person. He ain't. I mean, he'll give it a go, of course, but that's why John was there. Now, one thing I will say, though, is that when it comes down to the fight as to who would win, I mean, personally, I don't know. Don't be surprised if Jake Paul wins this fight. Jake Paul, of what we can see and hear, seems that Jake Paul does live the boxer's lifestyle. Tommy doesn't. And again, I'm getting that from some of the things that John has said in the past as well. So really, this isn't a YouTuber versus a boxer. If anybody's the boxer, it's probably Jake Paul. Now for boxing, Tommy needs to win, because if Tommy loses, then that's not a good look. It really isn't a good look. And as I said before, if there's this no knockout clause in the contract, well, you're just bringing boxing into disrepute, aren't you? It'd be an absolute joke that Tommy would even sign that kind of contract. But I'm not saying he has, I'm not saying he hasn't. I have no idea. But either way, he's going to be earning some good money. I mean, not many 7-0 people out there who have fought absolutely nobody. Nobody. I mean, the 7 opponents that he's fought, I could probably beat, to be fair. And I ain't a professional boxer. Jake Paul would certainly beat them all. So maybe this fight could be a little bit closer than maybe you really want to admit. Might well be. But if Tommy loses this, I hope he never fights again. Never, ever fights again. He'll earn enough money so he probably doesn't have to. So hopefully he doesn't if he loses. But if he wins, is that good for boxing? In some ways, yes. Because somebody who is a boxer by trade, if you want to call him that, has beat somebody who apparently is not. But if Jake Paul wins, hey, boxing will still survive. Boxing will keep on growing, because Jake Paul is growing boxing. In fact, he's started managing fighters, hasn't he? Jake Paul is more involved in boxing than Tommy Fury. But either way, press conference, I want to say Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury, but it wasn't. It was Jake Paul versus John Fury. That's the truth of it. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you on the next video.